I am so excited. So excited. Oh man, it's inappropriate how excited I am. Specifically, no, not by that. Not by that, but yeah, there we go. The wool. Oh, wool. How I have longed for you. It will be so nice to have a bed. So nice. But there are a few things we have to do to get to that stage. The first thing we need to do is make a spinning wheel. So, or a spindle. That's it, a spindle. You make the spindle as I showed you. Then we will have to fire it. As you can see here, I made a couple of clay molds for various, clay things. What I am thinking is we will run actually 2 of these. And for symmetry's sake, if we're going to run 2, we should run them in these closer to. Yes, that is how I roll. So, I am going to make my spindle a shovel head, axe head, sword. And then I'm going to have 3 slots over here. One of them will be a vessel in which we will make some bronze. How much can we make? So that would be 2 ingots of copper. Oh, wait. We have sphalerite now. We only have 1 piece. Darn. We might actually be able to make something called black bronze. Let me look up the exact proportions of that. This is another thing that we should do, is actually put up some signs here, including the proportions for various alloys. Okay, up to 25% of black bronze can be silver, and 25% can be gold, which means if we put that there and that there, this column here would be a little bit of black bronze. That's pretty good. As little as 10% can be black bronze though, or I'm sorry, can be silver or gold. So in this column, that's 25%. That's 10%. If we were to add, one of those, we're going to get a little extra, but it's going to fall within the parameters of black bronze. Now, what this means is we've still got 6 of these native copper ingots. If we put 2 back, add a cassiterite here, there we go. That's bronze. So that would mean 2 vessels right now. Except we can't actually do this. The issue is this only has 4 slots. So what this is telling me one more nugget of gold in instead of one of copper. Because that is still at least 50% copper, so we should still be within the range of black bronze. Now, these are 25. That brings us to 50. Plus 4. Plus 1. So in this guy here, that's still within the range of black bronze. Sorry, not black bronze, just bronze, which must be 8 to 12% zinc, which is the cassiterite, or tin. My apologies, tin, which is cassiterite. And then 88 to 92% copper. I am loath to admit it, but I have always had a difficulty with mental math, especially on, well, what I would consider slightly larger numbers like these. It just does not come easily to me. Though I am fairly good at, like, abstract math. I can solve a differential equation with the best of them. No, not nearly the best of them, but with some of them. Mental math like this, simple arithmetic, has always eluded me. So, let's see. We have 2 of these, and 2 of these. That gives us a total of 4 bits of metal, meaning we are going to want one more thing to pour our metal into. So as it stands, we are getting a sword, an axe, a shovel. Let's look over here. What other tools do we use regularly that we don't have in metal? Knives, I don't think are worth it right now. Hammers. You know what? I'm going to cast one of those bronze as an ingot. It will get us one step closer to advancing to the Iron Age. So this means we will fire that ingot mold, and because, as I've said, you can never have enough of them, we'll fire up another vessel. Complete our pit kilns, theoretically without then destroying them again. Oh, yep, there we go, fire starter. Eventually, someday, oh, and of course there are sticks, we will get a flint and steel, which is, I assure you, superior in almost every way to what we are currently using. We need more sticks. There are a couple of ways we could go about this. I think perhaps the way to do it will be to use our scythe, a tool we have not yet had the opportunity to utilize. The scythe is going to allow us to harvest large amounts of leaves, large numbers of leaves, all at the same time. But while we are stuck in the house, or at least while it's raining, I think we can do some other things. I'm a little incredulous that all I have is one string right now. It would seem that I've come across more spiders than that. Oh well. Okay. So, what I think we should do is start tanning our hides and preparing our jute. Both of these processes use barrels. You'll remember way back in the day I set up a number of barrels over there. Those are going to serve as my tannery and other processing area for the time being. But tanning hides requires something called lime water. Lime water is made with flux. And flux, as you have probably guessed, is made by taking a hammer and using it to crush in your crafting grid flux stone, in this case marble. I'll put this hammer here. Now, from each marble has made 2 flux. That means 1 stack of marble made 2 stacks of flux. One of those stacks is going to go here in our anvil. This is what we use to weld together different ingots. This will eventually allow us to take these ingots and make them into a new anvil. We'll do that in a little while. For the time being, though, we're going to use this flux here for another purpose. Making lime water and filling one of these barrels with it. This barrel is currently empty, so if we take some water, add some flux, we get lime water. Shift right click to add it to the barrel directly. So each barrel can hold 8 lime water, and we're actually going to want to fill 2 of them because we have 2 different sizes of hides and we can only process 1 size per barrel. I actually think I'm going to have to make more barrels. This is not going to do everything I want to with barrels currently. Barrel is actually, I think, one of my favorite new, I guess, machines in TerraFirmaCraft. It's just a unique mechanism. So, if you add an item to this slot in the barrel, you can hit seal, and then the barrel will seal closed with that inside. After a number of in-game hours, I'm not sure how many, the barrel will unseal itself and the prepared hide will be ready to take out. Or I think it might be called soaked hide. I don't recall what the name of that particular stage of hide is. This is a raw hide. Raw hide can't be used, but when we process it all the way, we'll get leather, which is useful for all kinds of things. Okay. I think for 1 medium hide, this is probably enough lime water. Yeah, we seal it. Now I'm going to fill these 2 barrels up with water. This is because we're going to use the water for currently 2 other processes. Okay. There are 2 other things you can do with water, or that we are going to do with water right now. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to organize... Oof. Okay. In a little while I will organize where these barrels are. Ooh. I am glad you were a zombie and not a creeper. Okay. I'm going to quickly add a log to this barrel and seal it. That is going to make tannin. Okay. Which is important for a later stage of leather processing. For the time being, we will leave the other barrel alone. We don't actually need it for anything we're doing at the moment, but in the future we're going to want it. And it looks like our things here have finished processing. Okay. Ugh. This means my ratios were off, and that is horrible. Okay. But these ratios were spot on, apparently. We will make our bronze axe, and I think our bronze sword, because that will help us take out those zombies. And we will add this to the pile of shame over here. Once we save up 10 pile of shame vessels, I guess actually 10 won't fit here, so we will put them over here. Each of those holds some amount of bronze. And 10 bronze, I believe, in each of them currently. Once we save up 10 of those, it'll be 1 ingot's worth, 100 units of bronze. And it's at that point that we'll actually be able to use them. Okay. This is the reason we fired this whole kiln, though. Why don't I just grab those things, put this guy away here, and this vessel. I thought I had it right, but apparently not. I will have to adjust the parameters and refire it soon. But for the time being, we have a spindle head. Why don't I show you one of the alternate methods for getting sticks? Because once we get some, we'll actually be able to sleep through the night and go out and actually do tree harvesting next time. So, if you have a hammer and a log, and you use the hammer on the log, it will drop, I believe, between 1 and 3 sticks. See? 3 sticks. That's actually exactly what we need. Because if we take the spindle head, put it on a stick, we get a spindle. Axe head will give us an axe. Ugh. That's actually way nicer than all the previous axes we've had. Hopefully it'll last a lot longer. And a sword. Because I have gotten really tired of running away from simple zombies. Now, okay, I'm eager to use that spindle, but first, there's something we need to do with the jute we have in our inventory. And because we have this sword, which took that guy out really fast, we can come out here to this barrel of water, add the jute, and seal it. Now what will happen is that will process the jute into jute fiber, which we can use for making rope. Awesome. Now I believe what we can do with this spindle, crafting it with wool, we can make wool yarn. I assume wool yarn, yep. Can make wool cloth. I'm going to use my not enough items interface to look at the uses of wool cloth. Okay. Can be used for a bed, to make a bandage, which is an extra firma recipe. That requires leather straps, which we're a little ways away from. What I want to know is how do we make the crossbow? For crossbow, we need 2 horns, which we have, and some of these braided strings. For that we will need either wool yarn, 6 of them, or string. Okay. We actually... okay. We have 2 braided strings and 3 wool cloth. That is sufficient for all of our current needs. If we take these items out, look what we can do. First, oh, that makes me so happy. Look, our little hole has become a home with the simple addition of a bed. Oh my goodness. Look, the sun is shining. Our spawn point has been set here. This is a happy day. And you know what will make it happier? The ability to kill. Now we have a crossbow. Of course, we don't have any arrows at the moment. We don't have access to flint or feathers. Yeah, we don't have any feathers is an issue. We can use stones if we can get feathers. I know where we can get some feathers. You've undoubtedly seen the pheasants that have been just about everywhere in the world that we've left pretty much alone. Well, that stops now. It's a general rule I have that if someone stands between me and sharp, stabbity death, I mean, you know, inflicting sharp, stabbity death, not receiving. If someone saves me from sharp, stabbity death, I'm very grateful. But if they prevent me from inflicting it, well, sharp, stabbity death to them too. Oh, okay. Sorry, I got distracted. I love those barrels. Had to check them while I was there. But, for the time being, I believe we saw some pheasants over here last time we passed through. It is time for us to feast upon pheasant flesh. But that's merely a byproduct of needing their delicious feathers. And by delicious, I mean useful. Hello, dear. You're safe for now, although you should cower before my mighty sword. Oh, And we should be certain to collect as many sticks as we can while we're out here. I really should have brought our scythe. We could have taken out a bunch of leaves while we were out and about. But, well, I'm impatient and poorly organized. I think they're two of my most endearing traits, don't you? Ooh, blackberry bushes. You will notice that when I harvest bushes, I have not been right-clicking on them first to get the berry. This is because, at the moment, I am relatively full on food, and don't want to be carrying around any number of different kinds of berries at any given time. TerraFirmaCraft is built initially on scarcity, but you very quickly get a good stockpile of things. And so the scarcity that you encounter is for finding sources of new items, not so much for having more of items you've already found. At least, that's what I've found. Except for metal. You can always use more metal. We will have to go hunting for more copper soon, because though we can get a copper anvil, we cannot yet get a bronze anvil, nor can we yet get the... Oh, hi zombie. Bloomery, sorry. Got distracted again. Killing zombies. Always an entertaining diversion. Oh, I do so need to find a pheasant. Or, I suppose, a skeleton who would actually drop arrows for me would also suffice. Some say the world will end in pheasants. Some say in skeletons. From what I've tasted of arrows, I hold with those who favor skeletons. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of feathers to say that for destruction, feathers is also great and would suffice. Please remind me in the comments never to adapt a Robert Frost poem to Minecraft again. The pheasants seem to like it, though. I can tell these things. If you shift right-click on a pheasant, he has a chance to drop a feather. In the meantime, he takes damage. I am plucking and plucking him, and he will not drop a feather. I will pluck him once more, and then verily I shall slay him. Is there another around here? Did he have a mate? A mate so forlorn at his passing that she will throw herself upon my sword. I kind of make Minecraft into a dark game, don't I? I go to a dark place sometimes. My apologies if it's a downer. I don't hear anything. I think I'm fooling myself that I do, but I do not believe I hear anything currently. But the advantage of running around with our crafting grid on ourselves is that we can make... Oh, and that dropped 21 feathers. That is actually a huge number, fully sufficient. And arrows apparently only stack to 16. So, it's going to serve me right. Yeah, I made an assumption. The assumption that I made was that the crossbow used arrows. This is simply not true. Okay, we still need feathers, but in fact, we need an arrowhead mold and arrowheads in order to make bolts for the crossbow. I actually knew this. I knew that in real life, crossbows used bolts and not arrows. I have played enough fantasy role-playing games to know this to be fact. But for some reason, I misjudged the TerraFirma developer, thinking he would utilize the arrows already in-game rather than adding his own ammunition. Serves me right. What this means, however, is we are at least one pit kiln away from getting any bolts. So, I think perhaps, and I'm sorry to do this to you at this juncture, that will have to wait then until next episode. I know, I am also very excited for getting our crossbow up and running. I'm excited for our bed, which is awesome. I'm excited for the leather working that we are going to do, and the jute that is about to be ready. Really, we have much to be excited about at the moment. But all of that will have to wait till next time. See you then.